It comes as no surprise that a sequel to last year's Battlefront is already in the works. They sold a ton of those games. There's an equal amount of praise for the game as there is negativity. Some people absolutely love it, some people are in the middle, and some people feel as though it was incomplete. And I get that complaint. There is some validity to it. I see both sides of the argument. I've logged roughly 90 enjoyable hours in Battlefront. I've had a lot of fun, and I'm sure I'll have plenty more hours of playtime coming with each DLC release. Though I do have my gripes. I've voiced my disappointments here multiple times. But we're here to talk about the sequel, Battlefront 2, or we already had a Battlefront, whatever they're gonna call it. So here's what I want to see in the 2017 Battlefront sequel. Scrap the power-ups that spawn on the map, get rid of them. Especially for vehicles. I don't want to randomly encounter a glowing icon which will turn me into an AT-AT or an X-Wing. I want to be able to hop in, and maybe more importantly, out of vehicles at a vehicle spawn location, or randomly on the map when a fellow player abandons said vehicle. Take Battlefield for example. Yes, Battlefield. I said it from day one that I wanted Battlefront to be a lot like Battlefield. Some of the most tense and enjoyable moments I've had in those games is when I'm in, let's say, a helicopter, and I'm flying a group of troops to the action. There's incoming fire. I see my helicopter's health decreasing. I have to make a strategic decision that will impact the lives of my teammates. Do I continue on the flight path and try to drop off my troops before the bar reaches zero and we all detonate? Or do I swing around and try another approach? Same thing goes with tanks. As you see your vehicle taking damage, it creates fantastic, tense gameplay moments. Abandon the vehicle and attempt a foot pursuit? Or hope that an engineer repairs you in the nick of time, allowing you to continue on the mission and defeat an enemy that has you in their sights. The ability to freely enter and exit vehicles is one of the hallmarks of a fun time in a game that relies so heavily on teamwork and strategy in giant maps. It creates a sense of freedom where you aren't glued into a position. It feels more realistic, and it's just more fun. Bailing out of a vehicle right before it is enveloped in flames, allowing you the possibility of holding your ground and continuing the fight. I want that freedom. I want that ability to create my own experience. On the topic of power-ups that you pick up off the ground, I don't really feel like they have a place in a game like this. At least if your goal is to create a more realistic game and stay away from something that feels arcadey. Abilities should be restricted to your loadout the way you want to build your character. I've always enjoyed classes. I want to be an engineer, I want to be a medic, a rifleman, or whatever, and from there you customize your perks, your gear, and your weaponry. Of course, that's nothing new or inventive, but it does fit into a game of this style. Obviously, right? You need to look no further than the Battlefield series. Now I'm talking about the next Battlefront game here, not the current one. The current one is what it is. It's not gonna change. I like it for what it is, but my goal here is to look forward. Discuss things that I want to see in the sequel. Ground pickup, power-ups that randomly spawn, get rid of them. They work for the current Battlefront, but not for the sequel that I want to see. Maps. Big giant square maps, big giant square free to move wherever the hell I want without restrictions from mobile checkpoints or goals maps. Plop my team into one corner and plop the enemy team into the other corner. Put down a few capture points that have held for a certain period of time your team can spawn on. The main spawn base where you start should also be a vehicle spawn, where you can hop in and out of vehicles if you like. See, these giant maps create lull points in the action, and lull points are not a bad thing. It allows you to regroup and strategize. Two teams spawning near one another is fine for a deathmatch or other small modes, but for gameplay based on massive interactions, you need spacing. You need anticipation. One of my favorite games of all time came out in 2001. It's called World War II Online. Now, I'm not saying the new Battlefront has to be that big, but it can definitely take away the anticipation aspect and utilize it. Countless times in World War II Online, I'd be a part of a huge convoy, like 200 people strong. It was a big game. We'd be driving towards a town 10 or 15 minutes away, talking at the time on TeamSpeak, going over strategy. Squad Echo, when you get to X, flank left. Squad Delta, you flank right. Squad Charlie will go up the middle as the Royal Air Force rains fire from the sky on the Nazi scum. Now, of course, the new Battlefront won't be that big. I get it. But I would love it if at moments the game let you breathe, regroup, and prepare a new assault. Hell, Battlefield at times has moments like that. I don't think the overall Battlefront fanbase wants more Call of Duty style gameplay. There's a lot of that style to be found in gaming nowadays. They want something that is bigger in scale, more expansive in scope. At least I do. I don't want to speak for everybody else. Increase the player capacity by a lot. I don't know what a good number would be. Make the maps enormous, less restrictive. Freedom is what keeps players playing. The thrill of the unexpected, the desire for new experiences that aren't tailored by the developer, but are created by the player base. Of course, I'm just speaking about one game mode that I want. You can keep the smaller game modes in there. You can keep Walker Assault and Cargo and all that stuff. I thoroughly enjoy Cargo. It's fast and it's fun. Small game modes like that should stay in there. But we need something big that isn't on rails and lets players roam like Mad Max across a vast landscape, encountering enemy contacts that aren't restricted to a certain segment of the map. It is insane that voice communication wasn't a thing, at least for the PC, I don't know how the consoles are, in the 2015 Battlefront. I don't get it. It infuriates me. Voice communication is key. Being able to call out targets, tell people to flood a certain area, yell at dummies who are just sitting back and not helping to complete the mission for the team. The new Battlefront must have voice communication. Not only is it key for the team's success, but it's also just fun. It makes the game more engaging. If you can't talk to your fellow players, I feel like you might as well just be fighting a bunch of bots with unique names over their head. Will people abuse voice communication? Yes, it's the internet. Every game you ever play with voice communication, you hear assholes. You'll run into some assholes. But is that a reason for not including it? Hell no. And is that the reason that they didn't include it in the 2015 Battlefront? I don't know. Maybe not. But if you don't like something, you turn it off, right? You don't write the president of a TV network because you didn't like something someone said on their TV show. You turn the channel. In the case of voice communication in games, you mute players. Voice communication, as I've said multiple times, is key, especially in a game mode like the one I explained earlier, one that is just huge, requires strategy. What keeps a game alive? What keeps a game surviving year after year? The community. And as a PC gamer, a game's community thrives when they have control over their own dedicated servers. If I want to make a HelloGreedo Battlefront sequel server, I should be able to do that. If you subscribe to the philosophy that I'm talking about. You could potentially have 100, if not thousands, of player-made Battlefront servers populating a server browser, each ran by a person or a team of people who have a vested interest in the continuation of your game, because they're building a community. This isn't only a perk for those who want to build a community, it's also a plus for the players. Servers can be modified to include or exclude game types or items. They can be tailored for a certain gaming experience, and players can filter out servers to look for the gaming experience that fits their style of gameplay. Not all gamers are created equal or looking for the same thing. Games that have a server browser and allow for this level of freedom have a tendency to last a hell of a lot longer than those that don't. Yes, a single-player campaign would be fun. I would play it from start to finish. But it's not the reason that I play Battlefront. Do I want it? Sure. I play these types of games for the multiplayer experience though. So it's not a huge aspect of what I'm looking for in the Battlefront sequel. But I'm just one consumer, I'm just one gamer. If the general consensus among the community is that they want a single-player campaign, I see no reason why there shouldn't be one. That being said, I don't believe any developer or artist's decisions should be dictated solely based on the outcry of their fans or consumers. That may sound counterintuitive, but there are a shitload of opinions out there floating out in the void. A lot of ideas, a lot of voices. Things can get muddy. You can't please everyone. Except for me. Please please me and implement everything I've said here. Please listen to me! So those are just a few things that come to mind. What do they all have in common? Freedom. Player freedom. When a player feels like he or she has the ability to create their own experience in your game, they have more of an interest in continuing to play that game. Relinquish some control. Not everything has to be linear. I've defended the 2015 Battlefront a lot on this channel, and I've also voiced a good amount of gripes. I've enjoyed my time. I'm looking forward to the DLC. It's a fun game for what it is. But for the next chapter in the Battlefront franchise, I'm gonna need something different. I'm gonna need a game mode that allows for a larger player population that revolves around massive maps, and the freedom to plot our own strategy and create our own unique experience every time we launch the game. HelloGreedo, out.
With you cannot be